I could find parking spots and an entrance complete with the flight school logo, I could not figure out exactly how to enter the school itself. Amidst my search, I did discover a metro stop in the center of the international airport, which was honestly the first anachronism in GTA that has ever really bothered me, while at the same time the best explanation for the lack of realistic nightmare traffic. Anyway, I was getting an increasingly annoying feeling that I had not yet crossed some arbitrary threshold in order to unlock the right to participate in flight school when Simeon called again. I accidentally answered my phone due to the fact that the run button and answer phone button are the same. He was calling because he expected a lifetime of favors in exchange for the upgrades to my car, a kind of afterthought slavery.
You are now forever in my debt.
He didn't ask for anything during this call, but I would be indefinitely weary of running, not knowing when he would call again. I decided that if I wasn't able to attend flight school proper, and as I was a few dozen races away from being able to afford a helicopter of my own, I would show up to whatever flight venue would have me. The first one I found was atop this container ship, but the entry point was seemingly only accessible by someone who was already flying. The irony not lost on me, I did manage to take in the view. The peaceful scene was particularly serene in spite of the kill spam lighting up the bottom left corner. This was actually a pretty rewarding experience for some reason. Having freed myself from the daunting need to gain infinite points, I felt no qualms about simply enjoying the waves, the beauty of the game, and exactly how lost I was. My only regret was that I didn't stay longer. Putting flight school on hold, I decided to switch gears and resolve my homelessness issue. When I was scanning the map for flight school, I had discovered a condo I thought I would be interested in living in. It was in a part of town I saw as relatively convenient, close to the airport as well as the beach. I went to check it out, and I would forever feel awful having stereotyped the woman standing in the front with her phone as some sort of real estate agent or building manager, who would continue to stand there as I floundered about looking for a manager's office. At the time I didn't understand how I was supposed to purchase property in multiplayer. I saw a phone number permanently emblazoned above the garage and discovered my phone did not have a touchpad interface, making typing the number an impossibility. As I struggled to use my phone for disappointing searches regarding the flight school, I found the website that allows a player to purchase property. I would use my early adopter award money to purchase a condo for $150,000, the listing of which did not include the hidden fee of $50 per day for maintaining an unnamed mechanic who I would soon learn assigned himself the presumptuous responsibility of moving my vehicle according to his own whims. The building itself was in fine condition. My condo came with a 6-car garage as well as home furnishings, a widescreen TV, kitchen, and a full wardrobe. I would regret changing clothes, not so much for fear of conveying too casual a fashion statement, but more so because my weird suit would be permanently removed from my wardrobe. Or this wardrobe, I'm not exactly sure where these clothes came from, and I was half expecting my real estate lady to call me up Simeon/Lamar style to tell me how I owed her a lifetime of favors like putting up useless banners all over town. Having established a home base and knocking out one of my goals, I found success at the next flight venue I barged in on, a government facility on top of a hill. This time I was met with no adversity, the gates warmly opened. I wasn't sure exactly what this place was or why these casually dressed people were just relaxing on benches at what was supposedly a heavily gated government facility, but I run by them to find the mission circle. The race Helly Low Fly Zone had been created by player Lone Wolf of North, who claimed it a quick par 3-minute race. I don't click ready to play fast enough while I debate the ethics of being able to wager on myself, and my one opponent leaves. Feeling rather gung-ho about my natural ability to fly, I choose a red helicopter and take off. I spend the first few seconds going backwards, and finally getting some bearing, I bravely whir into the sky. The next 6 minutes would prove a terrifying series of pratfalls as I twist about, dodging power lines and bridges, trying to hit all the checkpoints with no sunlight at my disposal. I will say it becomes a rather daunting trial by fire, but I'd like to think I was getting better at flying. At the end of the race, I'm informed that I have achieved another world record and have been awarded $7,000 along with 750 RP and 15 JP, whatever those are. When it was getting late, I pulled over to the side of the road to find my way home and set my GPS coordinates. When I close the map, I see a certain King Gyro pulling back towards me in reverse. Not sure what his intentions are. He is clipped by oncoming traffic, and I choose to head on my way. I was certainly starting to appreciate the effort it was taking to try to build up Francisco's life in spite of those who were trying to take it away. I would afterwards learn, only by looking up online, an act that feels like cheating for some reason, that the flight school access circle would not appear until I reached level 6. I was now determined for several reasons to achieve this ranking, and I was very close, even though leveling for the sake of leveling has become work in my mind. Unfortunately, the lines between improving my character's abilities and obeying the game's arbitrary ranking point system were starting to blur. I was determined to do what was necessary to get where I wanted to go.